Welcome to the El Paso Police Department's Town Hall meeting. I'm Sergeant Javier Sembrano, and today we're going to be looking at Northeast El Paso. So we have Commander Incidiaga, we also have Officer Slade Davis, and we also have Sergeant Trujillo. Just before we get started, a couple of reminders. We would ask that if you do have any questions, you please keep the questions in regards to the Northeast Regional Command side of town. Also, if there is an issue regarding a particular incident or a particular person, we ask that you send that information via askpd at elpasotexas.gov. This is not the correct forum for that. But if you do have general questions about your neighborhood, about crime in general there in the northeast side of town, you can definitely let us know. Again, if you have any questions, it'll be askpd at elpasotexas.gov. Now, the first part of the program, we're going to be talking a little bit about what the Northeast Command encompasses, some of the crime numbers, and some important information of some of the great activity that our officers out in Northeast have been working on. Then a little bit after that, we'll go ahead and open it up to any questions that you all may have. So with that, thank you for joining us. And Commander, thanks for being here. Slade, thanks, sir. And Sarge, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So, Commander, again, just a lot of times individuals aren't too familiar with, well, do I live in Northeast or what area or Central or what area it encompasses? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, sir. So first, we're located at 9600 Dyer. We are a population of as far as 130,000. Our square mileage as far as what the Northeast is about is 65.7 square miles. And what it encompasses, it's US 54 north at Pershing, and then US 54 south from the edge of Texas, also the mountain line at Hondo Pass, and Trans Mountain up to the summit. And as far as eastbound, we're at Loop 375 at over Airport Road.
Okay.
Okay, and that's pretty much it. Loop 375 is at the Sergeant Major, and that's where we're at. So that, and Martin Luther King all the way up to the roundabout at the Anthony Gap. So that's what it all encompasses.
So definitely a lot of area and a lot of different things. I mean, you're right up there with military land up there to the state line, and then of course a lot of things. So how have we been doing on crime?
Okay, so right now we're at a +3.
Okay.
Not in a good place, but it is in a good place. So let me just give you an example. As far as for last week, we had 9 burglaries. Burglary of vehicles, we had 6. Auto thefts, we had 7. Sexual assaults, we had 2. Overall, as far as assaults, we had 38, and of those 38, 9 of them were family violence. Beer runs, we're at 2. So overall, as far as the Northeast is concerned, we're doing good. Of course, we've had some crime trends when it comes to catalytic converters being stolen, burglary of vehicles. Those are mostly the common ones that we constantly have almost on a daily basis.
And Commander, as far as the catalytic converters, that's something that we've been seeing nationwide. So that is definitely something that's been happening quite a bit. Now, as far as also the burglary of vehicles, I know that we see that everywhere, but a lot of times the vehicles are left unsecure, right?
Yes, sir.
So we're kind of giving that opportunity there for then somebody just taking advantage of that opportunity.
Yes, and what we let the public know is, if you're going to leave it unlocked, then by all means, take all your valuables so that nothing can be taken. A lot of times when that happens, we end up people calling us and letting us know, hey, my laptop got stolen, my backpack, whatever it is, and there's valuables. And so we educate the public, if you go ahead and secure your vehicles, because the easiest opportunity for a burglar is they check on those handles, and as soon as they see that it's unlocked, that's an open opportunity. So secure your vehicles.
And it's definitely something I think we see a lot throughout the city. As a matter of fact, there with Crime Stoppers, I know we just had a series of burglaries that had happened on the east side, and even we were fortunate on that case to have some surveillance video from one of the homes. And what you can see on there, the individual goes to one of the car's locked, leaves it alone, goes there to the next one, and wide open, starts, rummaging through there,
Yes.
go to another house, and they're able to find another vehicle that's open and do all that. So it really is, as you all are saying, it's really important. I mean, it's such an easy thing. Just lock our vehicles.
Yes, yes, lock our vehicles. And for whatever a lot of the common responses that we get from victims is, they don't want to repair a broken window, and we understand, but you really do need to secure your vehicles. And if you're not going to secure it for those reasons, and we understand, make sure you take all your valuables down, all of them, so.
Yeah, because a lot of times, I know in many cases, they're able to get identifying information from the victim there and use that information now for identity theft. So, okay,
Correct.
there was maybe nothing of real value, but they were able to get an ID or found a credit card or something else,
Yes.
and now are using that. So it definitely happens. Now, Commander, I know one of the things that's also important for a lot of people to know is, of course, the regional command is not a substation. The regional command is something different, where there's a variety of different sections and also things for the community. Could you tell us a little bit
Yes.
about what the regional command consists of?
Yes, so it consists of a criminal investigation division, which is the detectives that follow up on any reports as far as further investigation and any kind of crime that occurs. Also, what we have is our tactical unit, and they help us, and it's a huge benefit to the entire region because they specifically hone in on burglary of vehicles, burglary of habitations, and so it's all connected. And with that's what that tactical unit is for. We also have our community services unit, which we also know as our police area representatives that fall under that. And with that, of course, with those long-standing complaints that we have and we can't address right there during patrol operations, they're able to step in and address those issues. And some things also, resources that they help bring in are also like the Homeless Coalition. We also have, where we reach out to the community with the rec centers, so many other, Red Ribbon, health fair. I mean, there's so many events that our community services unit helps us and assists us in making sure that we're able to help out our community.
And I know with that, Slade, I mean, that's part of what you do there in the community services section. So tell us a little bit about, well, and of course, Sarge, you as well. So tell us a little bit about what it's like being there as far as in the police area representative community service section there.
Oh, what it's like.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's awesome. It's all about using your resources and partnering with the community. It's our mission. We can't be everywhere. We really do depend on the people that we talk to, the people we work with, community that's around us. So we have a program called the Neighborhood Watch Program. And going back to our burglary of vehicles, these people are going through the streets. They're walking car to car, checking doors. Well, if you had a car that had an alarm system, a flashing red light, or you had a car that didn't have a flashing red light, which one are they going to go for? Clearly the one without the flashing light, because they know that this is an alarm system. Well, our Neighborhood Watch, if you're part of that program, you have a big giant sign, reflective, you can see it day and night, that this block watches out for each other. There's a big eye on the front, and that tells them, as well as it tells us and the people on that block, that you are going to be the eyes and ears for me. So if somebody was to go on that street, there should be 5, 6, 7, 8 phone calls about what is suspicious to them, because I don't know what's suspicious on your block, but you do. So you participate in this program, you have all of your neighbors watching out for you. The bad guys know that. And they know, oh, there's a sign here. Oh man, there's a sign here too. There's no sign here. There's probably broken street light. There could be a couple of cars that have broken windows. That kind of draws, our criminal element, because all these crimes are crimes of opportunity. So if we were able to get our participation from our blocks, get our neighborhoods to participate in this program, the burglaries will drop.
Absolutely. Now, one question on there. So somebody that wants to start a neighborhood watch, or how do they know if they are in a neighborhood watch? Maybe somebody just moved into an area. I would assume if they do have an active neighborhood watch, they would know, correct?
That's absolutely true, because we would love for, in every block that has one, you just moved in. I should go and meet you. I'm the block captain, and we have a neighborhood watch, and thank you for coming to the area, and we'd love to work with you. But if that didn't happen, maybe they saw a sign. You can go to whatever regional command that you live in, and you could go to the Northeast Regional Command, 9600 Dyer, and you can ask for your crime prevention officer. Officer Jeff Bell is the neighborhood watch guru. So all you have to do is ask the question. Maybe you'd like to start one. I just started on this block, and I think that's a great program, and we would like to start a neighborhood watch program. Great. So now we're going to go on a venture to go start meeting your neighbors. Once you figure out that you're at least 50% of your block needs to participate, that's what we want.
Okay.
We need a block captain. Somebody has to take charge of this. Other than that, once you're part of the program, we come and visit with you. You have at least 3 meetings per year. So we would join you at those meetings. We talk about crime trends and if there's any problems in the neighborhood. We also offer home security inspections. A lot of people don't know not only what that is, but if it's free, which it's free. We'll come
And
in
there's
here.
a benefit too of getting one of those home inspections.
Many benefits. I mean, not only for peace of mind.
But the insurance, right? It's on some insurance companies.
Some insurances actually give a reduction on your home insurance if you have just our inspection, but if you have a security system, that even more. Some insurances will actually give you a bigger reduction.
And so, I know you were saying if you want to start a neighborhood watch, you need to have at least. So talk to your neighbors. So at least
Absolutely.
half of your neighbors are interested in that, and then they meet with us, let us know, hey, we want to start one, and we start the ball rolling. Now,
Yes,
a lot
sir.
of questions that we get sometimes is there a cost for a neighborhood watch?
To be part of the watch, no. But to have the sign, yes.
Which is just a basic, which is understandable. There's a cost to those metal signs.
$38.
Right.
And again, if you have a block of 10 people, or 10 houses, and 5 of them get together, you're looking at $5 and change per household.
Mm-hmm.
And which is not a lot to pay for one sign. You want 2 signs, one at each block, or one on each side of the block. And we've had, many people even support that program and will help pay for that. So it's just nothing but a benefit to be part of the program. The high cost of $38, and I'm not saying that everybody can afford that, but if we can help you, there's other resources that we can reach out to, because we all want you to be part of this program.
Well, and as a team too. When we're talking about it, it doesn't fall on just one resident. It's combined. So if the whole neighborhood is together, that's basically a few dollars.
Oh, how awesome that community would be. How often do we talk about if we can work together,
right?
How much safer this place would be.
And the big thing too is, it's just really getting to know your neighbors, and that happens a lot. I think people are busy. Schedules not nowadays. People are working all the time, or they have school, they have other things. So a lot of times they don't have an opportunity to really get to know each other. So with Neighborhood Watch, where that's part of what it is, right? Getting to know each other.
You remember a long time ago, and I say this, when you could wave at your neighbors, call them out by name. Hey, Steve, how you doing? Oh, hey, you know what? I didn't see you here last week. Oh, I was on vacation. Well, with the Neighborhood Watch, you could let not only your neighbors, you'll let us know. I'm going to be on vacation on an extra patrol or code watch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be out on vacation for these days. And police officers, when we get the notices for code watch, we'll come by and we'll check your house. Your neighbors will know again who belongs there. Wait, you're supposed to be on vacation. Hey, and they might even call you. So again, even more people are watching out for each other, taking care of each other, but we don't do that. Just like you said, our lives are so busy. We come out of our garages, we close it, go to work. When we come home, we open the garage, pull in and close it. You didn't get a chance to wave at your neighbors, see the kids.
And so sometimes some people even don't know, well, does that car belong there or doesn't it? But with the Neighborhood Watch, at least we have a little bit better better idea. And Commander, I know, of course, it's next week, right? On Tuesday is National or Texas Night Out.
Yes, it's yes. And in fact, on the 27th, they had the proclamation reading at City Hall. And yes, that's to start off, and advertising, hey, everybody get involved. But yes, National Night Out is October 4th.
And so just as a reminder for everybody that's joining us, if you're part of a Neighborhood Watch, part of it, just go and greet your neighbors, find out a little bit about what's going on. Let us know what is going on out there. And I know you all have some of those neighborhood watch residences that you're gonna, of course, part of what we do a National Night Out, go
Yes.
out and greet our citizens and our different
Yes,
neighborhood watch
and it
programs.
serves two purposes, you know, because um, usually when people see that there's officers, police presence, and so forth, even though we're getting together and building rapport and helping them feel and taking back their communities and making sure, hey, you know, for all we know, the bad guy's cruising by, and guess what? He's going to turn around and say, yeah, you know what? Maybe this is not the place to be, you know? Also, with the National Night Out, of course, you know, people can join us. We're going to have a little coffee, some refreshments out at the station. So if anybody wants to stop by and join us, they're more than welcome to, and 9600 Dyer. And at the same time, we're going to have teams of two going to several area neighborhood watch areas, and we're going to get together with them and talk and, you know, just community, just together.
Well, and it's great. I mean, we do have a lot of programs. I know one of the things, just even going back as we were talking about, you know, some of these vehicle burglaries when we were talking about the crimes. I think one of the things that has really made an impact, and I'm sure that's probably something that, and I'm assuming we would also sometimes recommend, for people to have cameras. They're very affordable and they make a difference.
And that's part of the security service that they do. They do the recommendation for the cameras, doors, different locking devices,
Lighting.
and stuff like that. And lighting are very important for that.
Yeah, well, that's very true, because that I think would, if they see, there's a camera or there's a lot of lighting, they move on to the other one. But you know, and what you were mentioning earlier, Commander, too, I know many people do have that thought. Well, I don't want to have to replace a window, but you know, some of the videos that I've seen on some of these burglaries, if it's locked, they don't want to bother with it. They'll just go because they know
Right.
they're going to find something. So just lock it.
Yes.
And
yes.
I mean, but
Secure it
I'm just amazed. You know, many of the reports that we get, of course, laptops, even unfortunately, sometimes individuals that have firearms or some other type of very critical items in their vehicle, and those get stolen. But moving on, Commander, what are some of the other things that you wanted to share with us there that's going on out in Northeast?
I also wanted to share the Citizens Advisory Board.
That's right. So
Yes.
so that's something that's open to members of the community, right?
Yes, and so for the Northeast, just Northeast in general, what we do is we have our meetings every second Tuesday
Okay.
of the month. It starts at 6 o'clock, and it's in our community room there. Anybody's invited to go in there and share and ask questions on anything they might have or anything that they see that needs to be addressed. And of course, you know, I always have our PAR representatives there, because most of the time they're my go-to guys, you know, and they know what needs to happen, and they're able to give the individuals that show up, you know, answers to their questions. And of course, sometimes we don't always have the answers,
Right.
but we'll get back to them. We'll get an answer for them, and we'll get back to them.
Well, and a lot of times too, I mean, it's great because they get to, of course, address their concerns, but also get to meet the officers that will more than likely be helping them
Yes.
on that, or at least, you know, and a lot of times I think what we see, I'm sure there might be some things that it really isn't a police issue, but we help guide them into where the resources are for.
Yes, sir.
That's great, and so that's the second Tuesday of the month. Now, somebody that's interested in participating in the Citizens Advisory Board there for Northeast, what is there any requirements? What do they have to do?
Okay, usually what we need them to do is, if they want to become permanent members, they have to attend 3. On the third show that they come, we nominate them, and then once we agree, we nominate them, then of course, you know, they have to attend the Citizens Academy.
Okay.
Okay, once they're done, then they're a full-fledged
Member of the
Yes.
Citizens
Yes.
Advisory Board, and so they're open to the general public. So if somebody there that lives in Northeast maybe wants to see what it's about, they're able to do that.
Yes, and yes, sir. And then also what we've been working on is what we call both a live and or social media meetings, because
Okay.
we understand that after COVID, a lot of people are real busy and
Sure.
sometimes they just want to stay home because, they're taking the necessary precautions. We understand.
Mhm.
And so with that, that's why we what we call a hybrid meeting.
Okay.
So for those that can't join us live, they can join us on social media, and it'd be the same thing like if they were there. They can ask their questions and so forth as if they were there as well. But we welcome everybody to come and participate because, as you know, always, it's about a team effort, and there are eyes and ears, and we depend on the community so much.
Well, and that's what we're here for. We're here to serve the community. We're part of the community, and we're here to work with them. But
Yes.
if people aren't telling us what's happening, there's no way we can address those issues. And I know that's something that I've found time and time again, where a citizen may have a concern, and because they've seen it and they know their neighbors have seen it, they assume that, well, I'm sure somebody reported that, and now the situation becomes something even bigger. And oh, well, we've been having this issue for years and nobody's done anything, but nobody really bothered to report what was going on.
Right, we get a lot of that, we really do, and once they come and tell us, and we're just like, no, then we go ahead and address it and start from there. So
What are some of the things that are happening? I know a lot of questions sometimes come up with regarding schools and some of the other situations out there. But I know we work in partnership there with EPISD. They have their own police department. And
yes, so with that, a lot of times we get a lot of traffic complaints, speeding in school zones and so forth, and of course, we reach out to our headquarters traffic unit to help out. And the other thing too is, we work in partnership with EPISD when they need our assistance as well, and when we need their assistance as well. And so it's a give and take, help out, because in the end, we're one team, and we have to make sure that the community in itself is, their concerns are being addressed. So.
No, that's really good information. Now, Commander, one of the things that sometimes individuals have questions is when they file a police report. So that's, I know, a common question we get sometimes here. I know I had a citizen not too long ago that I assisted there with a report, and they forgot what they needed to do, and so we kind of helped them along there. But could you talk us through the process? So of course, an officer responds to file a report for them. What should that citizen do next?
Okay, so once we give them, what happens is initially when the officer shows up, they're gonna get a small white little, we say card, but it's actually a piece of paper, but it gives them numbers so that they can follow up and make contact. So what happens with their report, it'll get assigned to the Criminal Investigation Division. Sometimes we're gonna need the victim or the reporter to go ahead and call the Criminal Investigation Division to have it assigned. All right, to have, that they request that they want their report assigned. And when that happens, then the detectives go ahead and start an investigation. They'll get in contact with them and set appointments for them to come in and give their statements.
Now, I know at this moment we're going to go ahead and start taking some of the questions there from the community. So there are a few questions that have come in, and one of them is, and we briefly touched on it, but one of the questions was, how are we working with the schools to keep students safe?
We had several calls just recently in a school in the area in the Northeast, and so they had called in that they're going to threat to shoot some kids, or that they're going to be going, so naturally, of course, when that happens, we go ahead and contact our Homeland Security, and they immediately respond, and they start getting the intel that they need, and then eventually they'll go and contact the individuals and follow up and conduct an investigation to understand what's going on here, and then to intervene and take the necessary steps if action needs to be taken.
And I know that just like you're saying, I know the communication is immediate, and I know that of
Yes.
course our officers too. We train our officers on
Yes.
the responses there to these type of situations. And I know well, we also offer training to our citizens. So we do offer classes
Active
on
shooter.
the active shooter class to the faculty and all that. So that way we can keep everybody on as a reminder of
Yes.
what they need to
And
do.
to add to that, sir,
Mhm.
also, we also have school resources officers as well that are there during the daytime. And of course, that's specific to the Salida Independent School District. However, that still is it's a good resource for us to have our officers working there as well.
It
especially in these
absolutely,
concerns.
yeah, it makes a lot of sense. One of the other questions that was happening, I guess, individual was wondering if there is some type of community service or something that they can do or assist there. So are there any opportunities for individuals to um, uh, serve community service there with us in Northeast?
Generally speaking, you don't need us or our permission to do community service. That's service to the community. You can go pick up trash, you can help schools, you can volunteer pretty much anywhere. Now, if it's somebody who's looking for community service hours, there are some probationary people who require that. That's different. But like we
School,
just
the
we just
students.
hosted a community fair, and we had some schools bring their kids out and volunteer and assist. Automatically they get at least 4 hours of community service. So there's a bunch of different events that we do in the Northeast, even cleanups. There's a whole bunch of places out there that has a little bit of trash, and everybody's ready to complain that needs to be clean, but won't do anything about it. But a lot of the schools require community service, like you're asking, to graduate even. So if they were to call us saying, hey, you know what, we may have an event. If you'll bring me, some adults and some of your kids, or even some adults, you want to do something for the public, there's all kinds of things we can work out.
Makes a lot of sense, and of course we do have, as we were talking, the volunteer programs here in the
Yes, sir.
department. So there's of course individuals that can assist you in Northeast if they live in that area.
Yes, and also with that, we also, volunteers, a lot of times they come in and they also want to do their internship there. And we're always looking for help, always. And when you come and volunteer, those hours that you put in are such an enormous resource for us. It helps us. It helps a lot of times where we can actually put an able police body out back in the field with the volunteers' help.
And it's also too, I mean, if individuals might be interested in the law enforcement or criminal justice field, it's an excellent way to really get an inside look
Yes.
of what it's like and see if it is something that you
That they
want to do.
wanna
So
do.
what a better way to really start getting a little more exposure into maybe the field or the career that you're interested in
I love
doing.
the way you put that, because most people's experience is what they see on TV.
Right.
NCIS, NJIS, all these to show, isn't this how it works? No, because then when you volunteer, you get inside the department and you work with us, you find out that's not the way it works. That's not how it happens. So actually, going to the Citizens of Police Academy, the Youth Academy, all of these give you actual hands-on experience of not only what we go through, but what you are missing.
And speaking of Citizens Academy, we're actually just announcing it today. So our next Citizens Academy is going to actually be starting on October the 18th. So we're going to go ahead and start taking applications as of today. So anybody that's of course interested, we're asking them to fill out an application. It's going to be available online probably by the end of tonight. It'll be available there online, and they can just send that application filled out there to askpd@elpasotexas.gov. One of the changes that we're doing, of course, still together with DPS. So the DPS has been a partner with us, and so we are going to have which includes a presentation there from the Texas Rangers and some other good information. But we're actually going to be taking them to the different regional commands, so that way they also each get an opportunity to actually meet their commander, and meet their community services officers, and just have a little bit more context. So if anybody that's interested on that, definitely look for that application. And so that's another, like you were saying, it's like definitely another great program. One of the questions that was here that doesn't, I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong. So one of the questions was, I guess one of the news stations was reporting something about staffing shortages, and also that, I guess, the migrant situation that might be causing now. Has there been any real effect with that there in Northeast?
Well, as far as So in some areas in the Northeast, they're being housed. But as far as any concerns, because there was a concern in our last Citizens Advisory Board, a citizen was concerned, and what they had heard was ever since the influx of the migrants that they heard that that's the reason why the catalytic converter
Oh.
thefts were happening. So we turned around and said, no, sir, that is not what it is. It's the usual customer that comes back, meaning when I say usual customer, our usual burglars that come in. And so, and I go, and I'm telling you because I know this firsthand, so that's misinformation. So no, all it is that we're helping out and housing them until they do find a way to get back
To their
to their
whatever
destination.
destination,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir. But as far as that, no, it hasn't brought any, concern as far as crime is concerned. No, sir.
No, that's good to hear. Is there? I know as we're wrapping up, I don't think there's many more questions that are coming in right now. But anything else that you'd like to add and remind the community about what's going on there in Northeast?
I just say that you please get involved in your communities. I know that we're busy every single day, but it does make a difference. Any little thing that you might be able to help in, and whether it's volunteering, joining your citizen advisory board unit, starting a neighborhood watch program, every single little bit helps. And we want to make sure that we stay on top of that, because we don't want our neighborhoods to get to a situation which in other major cities that what they're having. That even goes with the homeless and so forth. Let us know, give us a call, or even like you were saying, send an email to your question.
Yeah, AskPD at
There you go.
elpasotexas.gov.
I'm so sorry.
No.
Also, you can look up epp.org. There's so much information that's available, and a lot of your questions may be answered there as well. And it'll give you so much more detail as to what other programs we have and what the process is if you want to join something. But other than that, that's all I have. But thank you.
No, and I think we had a question there, and just I'll ask you there, Sarge. Now, as far as I know, we mentioned a little bit about some of the traffic concerns that sometimes happen. So if somebody does have a traffic complaint that comes to us, we of course have assistance there from our traffic unit at headquarters, correct?
Yes, sir. We have your assistance over there at headquarters. We also have a few traffic officers there in the Northeast, so if the complaint comes to me, we address them, usually the school zones or any general traffic complaint, we address them with those officers. They are subject to calls, so they are taking accidents in between, but we get to those complaints as well.
All right. Well,
But, and to also add, what I wanted to add also is I wanted to add about our fatality rates. And so it's so important, and it's everybody's responsibility. Every citizen that lives here in El Paso, regardless of your police, fire department, we all have a responsibility. Be responsible when you're driving. Somebody cuts you off, you be the better person and just let it go and so forth. There's just too many things that happen driving while you're driving while you are intoxicated. That shouldn't be happening. But as like I said, it's everybody's responsibility. So take those, take it to heart and make sure, because remember, every action that happens, it's going to affect the family, and it's, and a lot of people don't realize it's just as bad as a murder, but because it happened in a vehicle, it doesn't hit us as much as when we see a murder took place. But a life is lost.
absolutely.
So that is so important. And I just that's one of the things that I also covered during our Citizens Advisory Board. It has to be in our heads that it falls on all of us. We need to be responsible when we're out there in those roads.
And just like you're saying, Commander, is just take a little extra time, give yourself time
Yes.
to get. We do have a lot of construction going on throughout the city, so just give yourself time to get where
Yes,
you
sir.
need to go. But Commander, thank you again for your time. Officer Davis, thank you. Sergeant Trujillo, thank you so much. And thank you all for joining us at this town hall meeting. we'll keep you posted on some of the additionals. Again, if there was a question that you didn't get to, or right now you're thinking of a question, you can still send it to us at askpd@elpasotexas.gov. We will make sure that that information gets to the commander, and we'll go ahead and address that question for you. So thank you again for joining us, and you all have a good night.